Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Race 3 of the playoffs for the Valor Pocono Raceway Cup Series. My name is Joey Stone, and joining me in the booth is nobody. We are taking this on all by ourselves tonight, which should be a fun, unique, and exhilarating challenge. The Valor guys are heading to Phoenix with lots of momentum, with some crazy racing as of late, with a photo finish occurring at Las Vegas. JCR Clashin looks to continue all the momentum he has built with a 2-race win streak, but drivers like JWoww is back, Mike Bross, just name a few, look to take down Clashin and start their own streak as they hunt for a championship. We'll be getting to the track here in just a few moments. It is good to see everyone in here interacting in the chat. Of course, I don't really chat a lot in the live chat and everything, but of course, I'm keeping an eye out whenever I can. It's good to see you all here for another broadcast. We will get into the lobby here very, very shortly, so please just stay put, and we'll get to all the fun and exciting racing. Thank you all for being so patient. We just got official word that we will be joining the lobby now. We are getting into the session for 156 laps around the championship venue. Although it's not the championship venue for the VRL guys, it will provide some incredible racing, as ironically, we are heading to Phoenix for the actual Cup Series championship here in just a few days, actually, which is absolutely crazy. So if you're in the chat, ready for some amazing fun, let me know in the chat who your pick is for the championship for the NASCAR Cup Series. And I can't wait to see all of your answers, but here we go. The drivers are now heading to the track. And here they are. Here is the VRL gang as they go around for their pace lap. As they get ready, we'll go ahead and show you your starting grid here in just a moment. Now, as the field is getting ready around for this amazing race we are probably about to see here, a unique track here at Phoenix, you know, technically 4 turns, but it doesn't act like a 4-turn track. This is a very driver-demanding track. You got to hit your marks perfectly and whatnot, which is just absolute craziness. Having raced here quite a few times, it does provide some very challenging racing. Let's go ahead and show your starting grid for today's race. As we head to race number 3, your starting grid consists of a JCR duo out front. JCR Clashin wins the pole with a 25.27 with his teammate with a 25.32. In row number 2, you have Mike Bross with a 25.4 and Kill It Like Jason with a 25.43. Row 3 has DB and an Bro Chase, a championship favorite on the outside of row number 3. Row 4 has Flash 9 with Galaxy King in the 4. Row 5 will have Batman Perky and Brennator rounding out the top 10. DK Brown and Innotown in row number 6 and 11th and 12th. And as you head to the last round right here, you have Sharp in the 25 starting in second to last with Davey Allison on the outside. As the field heads to the green flag, the virtual fans are on their feet, and we are green flag here at Phoenix. Flashing already with about a 2 to 3 car length lead over Mike Ross. And this guy has had a lot of momentum lately, winning the last 2 races. He dominated at the Charlotte Roval, had quite a challenge there at Las Vegas with a photo finish with Flash 9 at the very end. And this is one of those tracks that we talked about where drivers have to hit their marks at a track like this. This is a very driver-demanding track. You've got to be very careful of your braking points, letting off the gas, and getting back on, while also conserving your right side tires. The tires here at Phoenix burn up a lot. These tires love to shred on the long run, especially if you're arcing the corners tremendously. Now, if you look back here, you can see lots of action going on here in the back of the pack. Check out what's going on back here around DK Brown in the number 7, who's had quite a bit of a rough season. He's had a few good moments so far, but as you see right here, lots of dicing for position as drivers are going all the way below the yellow line using every possible limit of the track. Now, for anyone new here for Phoenix, that yellow line is not the out of bounds. That is all you want. You can go as far low as you can. Though it's not highly recommended in the corners, it's definitely a huge passing zone on the front straightaway after the finish line. You'll see lots of drivers try to take advantage of that throughout the race. As you see DK Brown on the outside of Perky using a good amount of momentum. You see Perky going low there to defend. He's trying to use as much track as possible to get clear of the 7. But watch DK Brown here as he's going to slowly arc it. He's going to bring that car back down, try to get a run on the 88, but the 88 keeps some good momentum there, so no challenge for the 7. There's Sharp in the 25, one of the new drivers of the series who has made quite some noise here. His best finish so far this season was second to Mike Ross at Pocono. A very, very good run for the rookie here. He's already moved 2 spots up here from where he started, which is really, really good for him. New to the custom setup game is that number 25 car, and though he's picked it up, he has said before previously that he does have a lot more to learn. We'll see how he develops throughout the race. Flashing still leading here with Mike Bross in second, and then a duo of 95 cars. That's JWoww and DB in third and fourth. DB, I've noticed before, has really picked it up lately. The 95 of DB started the season a little slow, but has picked it up and has shown some great speed these last couple of weeks. He's currently sitting in the 3rd spot here. He has passed JWoww for 3rd and is starting to make gains on Mike Bross. There's Chase Williamson in the 14, who started 6th. He did not post a qualifying lap, was not able to make a run. But this is a guy we have seen him plenty of times this year. He's definitely going to make some noise as the race goes on. He tends to show the best he's got around stage 3. So if you're a Chase Williamson fan, have no fear. That 14 car should get better as the race goes on. This is a track that really does fit his driving style. So we'll have to see how his race plays out as the laps wind down. Going back to Mike Bross, who's had quite a quiet season, actually. Mike Bross, 1 win this year at Pocono, but has had a lot of times where he could have won. Just some things didn't really work out his way, but that is how Mike Bross is. Mike Bross is just one of those drivers who he doesn't go up there and lead every single lap, but he's someone that stays up there consistently and makes sure that his presence is known. And right now, he's starting to actually slowly catch the 51 of Clashin, which to me, honestly, just a little bit of a surprise because Clashin has shown how much speed he has had as of late. And to see Mike Bross in the early stages here really show that, hey, he may have something for this 51, to me, that's an incredible sign to see. You see Mike Bross going below that apron in turns 3 and 4. Now, we're going to ride on board of Mike Bross here in second and see how he maneuvers around here at Phoenix. Right here, he's letting off the gas, letting that car coast to about that red O'Reilly sign. Then he gets back onto the gas and tries to get around the corner. Clashin seems to be doing very well arcing that corner. Let's see how Mike Bross attacks turn 3. Now that line right there is a very risky line to run. If you go and hit that inside wall into turn number 3, you are going to destroy your car. And even though you can fix damage, you're not necessarily going to fix all of the damage. So though it is a risky line, it tends to help out the driver if you are chasing down somebody. Clashin seemed to have pulled away just a little bit on Mike Bross here. So let's see if turn 3 here is going to help Mike Bross. He stays on that yellow line. Looks as though he's just trying to follow the 51, save his stuff a little bit. He's not going all the way down the track. He's trying to save as much tire as possible, which again at Phoenix is a very, very important thing to know about. There's JWoww. He has now taken back the third place spot. JWoww is definitely someone who may not have as many flashy results as his teammate Clashin, but he has been consistent all season long and definitely is someone to look out for the championship. Sitting P3 right now, having a good run, using all of that dog leg as possible to make some ground on Mike Ross here. But again, as I mentioned before with the JCR boys, these are guys that I've raced with personally a couple years back during the Winter Heat Series, the Summer Showdown, etc. And this is a team that has really gotten better as a set of drivers and his friends and his teammates throughout the years. They are known in the NASCAR Heat world to be some of those guys who are the ones to look out for. And even a couple years back, a driver like Mike Ross would be ahead of these two right now. But these two and the rest of the JCR boys have done a tremendous job getting better at building these custom setups, learning how these tracks pan out, and they're clearly showing how much they have learned. And if the eNASCAR circuit ever does come back onto the console side, I am a JCR crew believer. I believe one or two or maybe even three of those guys could make the eNASCAR circuit if they put the time into it, which surely they would. As you see right here, he is catching Mike Ross here through that dog leg. DB not too far behind. 20 laps to go here in stage number 1, and Clashin still leading, who has been dominating in the playoffs so far. A dominant win at the Charlotte Roval with a photo finish win at Las Vegas. Now, one name, too, that had a bad run at Las Vegas I was actually kind of shocked by, Mike Ross, one of those drivers who didn't really make a lot of noise at Las Vegas, but I mean, he just didn't really have the speed it looked like or the right strategy. It just came down to speed, strategy, and whatnot, but it happens sometimes. Now Mike Ross really using that outside, maybe trying to save some tire, play a little defense here as JWoww on the attack right now on the 44. On board with the 95 here, attacking the 44, Mike Ross. He goes below that dog leg, looking to take some momentum into turn number 1. He's going to take a little bit of a peek here, but Mike Ross playing that defensive line as you're going to see him arc this corner a little bit into that groove right there. Mike Ross so close to the wall, but JWoww now on the quarter panel. Expect him to try to make a dive here for the pass. Mike Ross with a great defensive move on that outside, able to keep that momentum on the top. He maintains the second position for now, but let's see if JWoww gets another shot at him here this lap. He attempts to go to the high side here. Arcing that corner a little bit, trying to get a little bit better run off the corner than Mike Ross. Oh, he is going way below that dog leg. Look at the 95 go way below, now to the inside of Mike Ross, and looks as though the 44 is going to give him that spot. Maybe not. Hold on, he's playing some defense here. Oh, he's still there. I should have known better. Mike Ross does not just give spots away. He's always going to give you a challenge. But look at DB, too, on the inside of Mike Ross here. These guys are fighting hard right here for second place as Clashin is loving every single second of this as he is pulling away now from this group. Non-stop gray racing here from second and fourth. Let's take a little bit a look a little bit further back. The 43 kid like Jason, who started in the 4th position, not doing too hot right now. He started in 4th. He's already back here to the 7th position and now under attack from DK Brown for P number 8. So the 43 definitely does not have the pace right now on the long run. We'll see if the 43 can change that up later on, or maybe, just maybe, he has that built purposely for maybe later on for a fuel run or so. We'll have to see how it all pans out. Another driver, too, I'm actually really shocked about. Look at the 5 of Flash 9. This is a driver who is fast every single week and is back here sitting around the 10th to 11th position. This is not what I was expecting whatsoever from the 5 car, but hopefully we can see him turn around later on. Now, as you see, as the long run is starting to pan out, a lot of these drivers are starting to move up that track, trying to get into that groove. You see where all that rubber is built up. That's where the most grip is. They're trying to use that to arc that car, get back on the gas, and try to carry that momentum. If you're on that inside, you're not going to be able to get back on the gas. Maybe early in the run, you're able to do it for the first 3 to 4 laps, but you're going to be burning your tires so much on that bottom on NASCAR Heat 5. You've got to move up that track, lay off the gas, let the car rotate for you before you get back on the gas. That's what most of these drivers are doing. And look at the 25. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know if he was trying to pit or if he got super loose there, but the 25 looked as though he was about to pull a Ross Chastain, maybe just go up to the wall and Chastain that thing and go full throttle. Now, I'm curious to see, could we see that happen tonight? I know that was a big topic here from Martinsville. Ross Chastain with one of the greatest, honestly, one of the craziest / greatest moves in NASCAR history to clinch a playoff spot. Could we see someone from tonight pull that? I don't think that's in the rule book, so we'll have to see if someone is going to use that later on. But hey, take a look at this, guys. Mike Ross starting to fade back a little bit. I do think he might have gotten a little damage on that car. Let's go ahead and take a look at that 44 car here from the front. Doesn't look like it looked like he had a little crease on that right front. Chase Williamson looking to pass the 44, and Cybron in that 4 starting to make a little bit of ground too on Mike Ross. So Mike Ross fading here on the long run. Definitely not a good sign for the 44, who started here third and was attacking Clashing early on for the lead. DB still sitting strongly here in P3. He's having a great run so far. He's keeping up pace here with the 95. Actually, if you look a little bit further ahead, it looks as though that maybe JWoww is actually catching the 51 of Clashin, which, honestly, I'm not too surprised. These two work very well together. Sometimes you kind of see them back and forth. JWoww may have a little bit better of a car. Clashin may have a little bit better of a car. These two have been the team duo of the season so far, and they always say teamwork makes the dream work. You have two guys like this who just want each other to be fast every single week. They're happy no matter who finishes first and second, of course, until we make it to the championship race. So these two, to see them up front is no surprise whatsoever, as the 95 slowly reeling in the 51 here for the lead, possibly for a stage win. At the moment right now, we have 7 laps to go here in stage number 1 at Phoenix. This is going by very, very quickly. The drivers should be good on fuel. Getting reports now that they do have about 11 to 12 laps of fuel, so they should be good for the entire rest of stage number 1. So no fuel playing in here whatsoever. There's the 51 of Clashin, who has led every single lap so far after starting on the pole, going for a 3-race win streak. Now, this is my first season as the commentator for VRL, so I'm unaware of what the record is for the longest win streak in VRL. But to tell you what, 3-race win streak is definitely not a small feat for a league like this with so much talent. But I'll tell you what, right now, that 95 is starting to reel in that 51 inch by inch. Here comes the 95 of JWoww with a great turn 3 and 4. He is pouncing on that 51. He could be there by the end of the stage here. 5 laps to go. Every point matters, especially for winning a stage. Can the 95 catch the 51 and go for a stage win? Or can the 51 of Clash and hold off the 95? We'll see what happens here. 4 laps to go as they hit the line now. JWoww about 2.5 car lengths back of the 51. Can JWoww do anything? The tires are shredding. These drivers right now are sitting at maybe 11 to 12% left on that right rear tire. Whose tires will last the entire stage? Will somebody blow a tire? It very well could happen. Clashin may have been using up his tire a little too much, and JWoww starting to attack, going under that dog leg to try to cut that gap just a little bit. He is there. 1 car length back. 3 laps to go in stage number 1. As he goes below, trying to find as much ground as possible. JWoww almost hits the wall right there. Here we go, 2 laps to go here. Can JWoww make something happen for the stage win at Phoenix? Clashin moving up that track. He's really having to arc that car. Here comes JWoww with a huge run on the bumper of the 51. Through turns 3 and 4, JWoww using that high arc approach, trying to get a huge run off the corner to use that dog leg. Jay Clashin now going to the dog leg to play defense here. This is where JWoww has to make something happen. He has to arc that corner as much as possible and get back on the gas before the 51. He does so. Does he have something here? He may not have enough. We'll see what happens here. Into turns 3 and 4. Looks like it will not be enough. Clashin's going to hold out the 95 and take stage number 1. Great battle at the end. Taking a look at your top 5, you have Clashing in first, JWoww in second, Chase Williamson moving up the field in third, DB in fourth, and Mike Bross in fifth. That's your top 5 in stage 1. Galaxy King in 6th, Sharp in 7th, DK Brown in 8th, and then if you look a little further back here, you'll see the rest of the field for positions. Looks like Flash 9 in 9th, and Killer Like Jason in 10th for stage number 1. What did everybody think about stage 1 right there? Looks as though JWoww may have a better car on that long run. That's definitely something we're going to have to keep an eye on here, especially for stage number 3. Not so much in stage 2, just depending on how the restarts pan out here. But another playoff point there for Clashin, which is huge for that 51, who's looking to fight for a championship here in just a matter of a few weeks, if he makes it all the way to the finale. Coming here for the restart for stage number 2. And we are back green. Jay Clashin using all that dogleg as we are back underway here for stage number 2. JWoww on the attack, using everything he can on that dogleg to stay with the 51. Possibly because JWoww started a little bit, he didn't have the best start in stage 1. That might be why he wasn't able to catch up to Clashin in time. If JWoww can stay a little closer to the 51 this time around, he could very well win the stage. But here comes DB though. DB, a little contact to the 95. Now DB's looking for P number 2 after a little scuffle right there between those two. As the 295s head into turn number 1, side by side, DB trying to pull the slide job on the 95. And here comes the crossover. It's not enough. What a slide job on the 95 car. Now Mike Bross looking to the inside. He sends it in. Contact between the 44 and the 95. Oh, baby. It's getting dicey now. Contact between the 44 and the 95. Chase Williamson looking to take advantage of that and take that spot away from JWoww as well. And more contact. JWoww trying to play as much defense as possible here. He's already lost 2 spots since that restart. Starting on the outside, especially on the restarts, tends to not work most of the time here. It's definitely where you want to go on the long run, but on the short run, the bottom is definitely where you want to be, especially on these restarts. And JWoww certainly paid the price as he started second. Now he's back to 4th. Mike Bross is up to 3rd with DB in 2nd. How about it for the 95 car of DB? A great start to this race. He finished 3rd in stage number 1, and now he's sitting here in 2nd place. A great run so far for the 95. Looking a little bit further back into the field, some great battles happening back here with DK, Jason, Flash 9. A little 3-wide action right in front of them between Sharp, Chase Williamson, and Galaxy King, who's using that top line to take the run off the corner and get back out front. Again, very shocking for Flash 9 to be back here. This is usually someone who runs top 5, and right now it's just not working out for him right now. Let's ride on board here with the number 5, though, and see how that car is handling. A little contact between DK and the 5. Gotta be careful, especially with a track like this. It's very aero dependent. It looks as though, too, Chase Williamson definitely is not good on the short run, but on that long run, he was on fire, driving up to P number 3. It could be so that Chase Williamson and Flash 9 may be having the same setup. These two tend to work very well together. They practice together, especially for these races. They're good friends on and off the track. So very well, these two could be working together. They could be having the same setup where it's very tight at the beginning of the run, but it's very fast at the end. So maybe, just maybe, they're plotting themselves and getting prepared for the final stage, which is definitely a longer segment where the long run is going to play a huge factor. But if you want to put yourself in a good spot, you've got to have good track position for the beginning of that stage. And right now, that's what Flash 9 and Chase Williamson may be trying to do. So we'll see how these two develop as the run goes on. I'm curious to see here how Flash 9 attacks the corner here. As you see, he's just barely kissing that wall. He's going up, following that 14, right at the very end of where all that rubber is built up, getting back on the throttle on that yellow out of turn number 2. He is just hugging that yellow line. We see lots of drivers either hug the yellow line, go below the yellow line, or even sometimes go to the outside and play defense, because it's one of those corners where you can get back on the gas very, very quickly and get your speed back and play some defense here. But right here, he is attacking the 14 of Chase Williamson to the inside. How about this? A battle for position between Flash 9 and Chase Williamson. It's just crazy to think that these two are battling for what seems to be 7th, 8th, 9th place, when these guys usually battle for 2nd, 3rd, or even the lead. We'll have to see what their strategy is for later on to the event. And how about Galaxy King in the number 4, sitting in 5th place right now? A great run, especially for a track that's a very challenging track for all these drivers. For someone who hasn't had the best of seasons, for him to be up here with guys like JWoww, Mike Bross sitting in the top 5, definitely something to keep your head high up about. We'll have to see how this 4-car develops as the race goes on, but right now he's looking pretty solid right now. So good run for the 4 so far. Town struggling a little bit, someone who again has not had the best of seasons, someone who's still relatively new to the whole custom setup game and whatnot. He had his best finish of the year of 3rd place at Talladega, a great run for him nonetheless. Had a chance to win the race as well. As you can see, he is having a little bit of a struggle, but talking to him a couple of times throughout the season, he's just happy to be here. And of course, personalities like that are always great for a league like this. I do have full faith that next year we will see the 18 improve, especially when it comes to more practice time, learning how these setups work. So if you're an 18 fan, fear not. I definitely think the 18 will get better as time goes on. We've seen improvements here and there. He's keeping the car more clean. He's being a little bit more consistent. So again, we'll just have to see what happens. Clashing, man, someone who doesn't need any practice whatsoever. He has led every lap of this race so far. Can he lead every lap of this race? That is the question. But I'll tell you what, right now, he is under a heavy attack from the 95 of DB and Mike Bross. These two have been charging up to the 51 lap by lap. We may have a 3-car battle for the lead here momentarily. This is getting really good, guys. And great, it's great to see all of you in the chat. Shout out to Jackhammer, Yeti Cup, Wyatt, Logan, a few others here. Chance Parker, it's great to see you guys in the chat. Thank you all for watching the stream and supporting the VRL League and this broadcast. Again, guys, if you like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Of course, maybe you can even join the channel as a member and support these streams. It goes a long way to put shows on like this. So make sure to leave a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel if you like these league broadcasts. And you never know, you may see me do this a lot more often as time goes on. As time goes on, Clashin still leading this race. But I'll tell you what, though, the field is definitely a little bit closer this time around. Clashin has not opened up his lead as much as it was during the last stage. It's a lot closer now. Look at this gap behind him. You got DB in second, about a car length and a half back. Mike Bross is there. JWoww is there. Galaxy King putting some pressure on the 95 of JWoww. I see that 4-car. I see him, man. He is making improvements, and it's great to see drivers like that who maybe don't get as many chances to show what they can do. They don't have the speed that the 51 has or the 44. But it's just so good to see this. It's so good to see drivers sticking out. It's one of my favorite things about being a commentator and a broadcaster for stuff like this. I love rooting on for the underdogs, and the 4, no doubt about it, is an underdog in this race, but look at him putting the pressure on the 95. He's staying right there with them. He's staying with them every single lap. This is someone who is a championship contender. He's up here racing with championship contenders. It's got to make you feel good, especially if you're the driver in that 4-car right now. H2 is 54 laps. We are 20 laps in, so 34 laps to go in this stage. Again, guys, we talked about how as the stages go on, it's going to be a bit longer when it comes to these runs. You're going to see pit stops here. You will definitely see a pit stop in stage 2 here. Now, the great thing is, who's going to save the most tire? Who's burning the most tire? Right now, guys, we have a battle for the lead. Here comes the 95 of DB. How about this? How about this? Give it up for the 95 of DB, showing that he belongs to be up here. He wants to go for a win. The 95 of DB looking to clear the 51. He'll do so. Will the 51 challenge him? Right on his bumper, under the dog leg, but it won't be a challenge. The 95 takes over the lead, but Clashin looking to the inside. This battle is not over yet. Side by side, Clashin gets loose. Somehow saves the car. What a save for the 51. Possibly a race-saving move. Could be the All-State Good Hands Award winner as well. What a save for the 51. But right now, the 95 car of DB has taken the lead, making a statement here today. The 95 DB looking to win here at Phoenix as stage 2 rolls on. Mike Bross has moved on to P number 2. Now under challenge from JWoww for second. Mike Bross on the defensive line though, looking to carry that momentum off the corner into the dog lane. They make a little contact here. JWoww looking to the inside of Mike Bross, but Mike Bross looking to play defense here. Maybe he thinks he may have a better car than DB on the long run. We'll see what happens. So DB in first, Mike Bross in second, JWoww third, Clashin in fourth, and Galaxy King in fifth. Curious to wonder if Clashin's car has faded that much, or maybe this is a strategy move. Maybe Clashin is trying to save more tire, go longer, but here comes pit stops. DB down pit road. The first car to attack pit road under these green flag pit stops. A good strategy move here possibly for the 95. If he pits early, gets a good gap, he very well could take the stage win away. But as we've seen throughout time, that usually if you pit later into the run, it will more than likely pay off for you. Mike Bross takes over the lead right now, but sooner rather than later, those pit stops will be happening as he plays the defensive line here through turns 1 and 2. With an attack from JWoww, here comes that 95 car. He dives it in under that yellow line, looking to take the lead, but Mike Bross pinches the 95. Contact here out of the corner, still side by side, but JWoww has the advantage, and the 95 moves up to the lead. Here comes Clashin on the inside as well. Maybe he was trying to save a little bit more tire to then attack and go back up front. That very well could have been the strategy. Galaxy King in fourth. Look how many cars are close, neck and neck from first to eighth. They are all within about a second and a half of each other. This is the racing we wanted to see. Now side by side for second, Mike Bross and Clashin, but Mike takes the advantage out of the corner with that outside lane. Mike Bross dives it in below the yellow, probably signaling that he's coming down pit road this time. As he does, here comes the 44 for his pit stop. JWoww holding on to the lead with Clashin in second, Sharp in third, DK Brown in fourth, Chase Williamson fifth, and Galaxy King starting to fall back. Guys, I think we're starting to see those drivers who saved their tires. They're starting to charge up. Sharp now in third. He was about 2-3 seconds back of the leaders. Now he's within a second and a half. Here comes Clashin down pit road. Sharp to second, DK Brown and Chase Williamson battling for third. We'll have to see how these pit stops cycle out. DB was the first one that pitted, so he should have the lead once all the pit stops cycle through. But the most important thing is to see when these guys pit, how far back will they be? How much will new tires be an advantage to take on guys like DB and Mike Bross, who were the first cars that pitted? DK Brown now pitting. Great charge up for Sharp. He is up to second. Chase Williamson in third. Galaxy King still sitting in fourth, but Flash 9 in fifth. So it looks as though these guys are playing the long game. They're trying to pit at the very last possible second here to get the best tires, to get the best fuel, to charge up to the front. Because tires here at Phoenix, this isn't your usual mile and a half track with loads of banking. This is a tire-killing track. Tires play a huge factor here. We saw in stage 1 when JWoww charged up to Clashin. It's because JWoww saved more tire than Clashin. And that was with still fuel in the tank. These guys have to pit. They have to pit. It's still going to be a long run to the finish, even though when they pit, some of these guys, they're going on maybe a 20 to 22 lap cycle with those pit stops. These guys here are going to have about 12 to 13 laps to make it to the end after they pit here. So a 10 lap difference in tires. Can they make it up, though, is the question. We'll find out soon enough. So far from the race, who do you guys think is going to win this race? With all these strategy moves happening, it's given us a good early prediction of what could happen in stage number 3. It will be a longer stage. We very well could see 2 pit stops in that if we do not get a manual yellow at some point. I do think that there is a good chance we could get a manual yellow here in stage 3, especially a track that's very heavy on track position. It's definitely going to make these drivers very, very aggressive early on. We see how important track position is here. It's very, very hard to pass if you have a car that's not really well known to be good on the long run. Here comes the 25 of Sharp as he pits. Keep an eye on the 25 car. If the 95 and the 14 and the 5 and those guys who still haven't pitted, if they don't pit in the next lap or two, keep an eye on the 25, because since he'll be in front of the 95 here, depending on how long these guys wait, he could be the one to look out for to take the stage, but we don't have to worry about that. Here comes JWoww, the 95. He's going to pit. Chase Williamson stays out along with Flash 9. Galaxy King in as well, so 2 cars remain that have not pitted. How will the strategies play out? Here's Chase Williamson. Again, someone who has been very dominant on the track this year. He is still not looking to pit yet. Could we see a possible strategy move here for the 14? Flash 9 has now pitted. Chase Williamson, the only car left on the track that has not pitted, but he is your race leader. Will his strategy work? Again, at this point, wins are the most important thing, and here comes Chase Williamson down pit road. Let's circle back to the 95 of DB. This is the car that we want to be watching here. He will come back around as the leader. Looks as though just like that, everybody, DB looks to be your leader. We will get confirmation here in just a second to see who the leader is. Keeping an eye on this battle, though, Clashing putting a heavy fight on the 95 of DB. That could very well be a lead change. And it is. Now Clashing leads the field. So new leader, Clashing in the 51 after the pit stops have cycled out. But the important thing to know, or to at least understand what's going on here, is the changing of strategies and all the variations of what is going on the track right now. We're going to have to keep an eye on these guys, because Clashing was not the last car to pit. I believe Mike Ross pitted before Clashing did as well. But as you see right here, Clashing, DB, and Mike Ross have a really good gap to that next group of cars. Sharp is currently sitting in 4th. JWoww is sitting in 5th. And Chase Williamson is sitting around the 6th to 7th position right now. They're about 3 to 4 seconds back of the leader here with less than 20 laps to go in the stage. So it's going to be really fun to see how these tires are going to play out. 15 laps to go in the stage. As they come back around this time, though, it will be 14 laps to go in the stage. We'll have to see how it all pans out. Did Clashing, Mike Ross, and DB play the best strategy? Or will the drivers that waited till the very last second to pit, will they have the strategy that plays out here? And this really does wonder, it makes you wonder how stage 3 is going to start. Because if Clashing loses the lead at the beginning of stage 3, and someone like Sharp or Chase Williamson, any of those guys charge up to the front and take those positions, it changes the whole outcome of the race for stage number 3. Different track positions, it all changes. And right there, guys, you can tell JWoww, Sharp, Chase Williamson, they are flying right now. They were 3.5 seconds back just a matter of 2 to 3 laps ago, now down to 2.5 seconds with 13 laps to go. I have full confidence that they are going to catch them. Mike Ross now moving up to 2nd. He takes that spot away from DB. The driver who might be in the most trouble is probably TB in that 95. Hey, in the playoffs, you got to try things. You have to do the best you can. You have to make some strategy calls. Unfortunately, right now, DB might be learning what pitting short-term wise could have on that car, as he's got a fast car to win this race, but that strategy call very well could put him back to 6th, 7th, or even 8th for the final stage, and you do not want to be that far back here with a whole stage remaining at a track that's so track position heavy. Lead is now down to 1.7 seconds from DB and JWoww. JWoww is the first car that pitted later than the 51. 1.6 seconds away. And falling. It is, they are flying off. They are absolutely flying. The tires are playing off. Here comes JWoww. He's looking onto the inside of DB for P number 3. He completes that pass. Let's ride on board with the 95 here as we watch him try to chase down his teammate for the stage win. Hunting down the back bumper of the 44 of Mike Ross, who sits in second. Newer tires for the 95 as well as the 25 of Sharp. Those two could be the ones that are fighting for a stage win. Or could Chase Williamson come out of nowhere and take the win? We'll have to see what happens. Just look how he's able to charge into that corner better than Mike Ross and get back on the throttle just a little bit quicker. That's what new tires do. Even 3 to 4 laps of newer tires plays such a huge role. Back on NASCAR Heat 4 in the Season 1 Pro League finale, when I was with RCR, I was one of those drivers, just due to circumstances, I pitted sooner, maybe 3 laps sooner than everybody else, and I paid the price. I was getting passed left and right near the end of the race, and I went from a top 5 car to finishing, I think, 8th or 9th in that race just because of tires. And right now you're seeing what pitting later rather than sooner does for you, especially in a race like this. JWoww now up to second. The lead has been cut to under a second. Can he catch his teammate before the end of the stage? Diving into turn 1. Back on the throttle quicker than Clashin, but Clashin did pit later than Mike Ross by about a lap or 2, so he does have a little bit fresher tires, but I just do not think it's going to be enough. I think JWoww is going to catch the 51. Six laps to go. Oh, Clashin messes up. What just happened to Clashin? Slow, loose off the track. Clashin loses the lead, and that is not going to help his right rear tire either. Loose off the corner, and that probably burnt maybe 2, 3, maybe even more percentage off of his tire. Watch out for that 51. We may have some trouble here, but now JWoww moves up to the lead. Pitting later seems to have paid off for the 95. Four laps to go for these drivers. Next time around, it'll be 3 laps to go. Chase Williamson now up to the 4th position. Sharp in 5th, Mike Ross in 3rd. Chase Williamson may have pitted just a little bit later than he probably wanted to, but he is flying up to the front, now up to 4th, looking to take 3rd away from Mike Ross. 3 laps to go in stage number 2. JWoww had possibly a winning strategy for this race, setting himself up for stage number 3 by being the leader. A great move by the 95 and possibly Chase Williamson. Now Chase Williamson looking to take P3 away from Mike Ross, and looks as though he does complete that pass. 2 laps to go here in stage number 2. Can Chase Williamson clear the 44 and make a run to the 51? Mike Ross playing heavy defense. But it is smooth sailing for the 95 of JWoww after pitting later. White flag is out now for stage number 2. Again, JWoww, hold on. Clashin sitting in second. Can Chase Williamson do anything here to get second before the stage is over? Chase Williamson diving it in, doing everything he can, but it looks as though it may not be enough. JWoww with the strategy move of the stage. He takes stage number 2. Clashin in second, Chase Williamson in third, Mike Bross in fourth, and Sharp in fifth. That is your top 5 for stage number 2. And a great strategy call by JCR, JWoww, Chase Williamson, Sharp, some drivers who pitted later. Look at them getting a top 5 in the stage. Worked out for Mike Bross, though. Mike Bross still got fourth right there. Clashin got third. So, guys, it's just going to come down to tires. Who do you think is going to win this race with all these various strategies going on? It's definitely going to be amazing to see what these drivers are going to do. JWoww wins stage number 2, making a statement there. He was catching Clashin in stage number 1, but with a little bit of a strategy help, JWoww was able to get back in front of Clashin, who was actually our first new leader under green flag laps there besides the pit cycles. That was our first true lead change of the night. So JWoww making a statement. So ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Stage 3 about to get underway. Who is going to take the trophy here at Phoenix and hopefully take one step closer to racing for a championship? We are green flag. Oh, we got contact. Clashin moves up. Mike Bross and Clashin with heavy contact, but Clashin goes back for the crossover. Look at all the crazy battling we got back here. DB holding on a challenge from Sharp. Drivers using the entire dog leg, using every inch they possibly can to get every position they can. For a lap count, 58 laps left in stage number 3. Now we have a battle for the lead. Here comes Clashin in the 51 car, looking to take back what he thinks is rightfully his. On the inside, he's going to use that dog leg. There they go, but the 95 going to play defense door to door as they head into turn number 1. Will JWoww put up a challenge? But here comes a crossover from the 95. Back to his inside. An incredible crossover move by the 95 as they still battle for the lead. But Mike Bross and the 95 make some contact. Somehow Clashin keeps it straight. But Clashin back on the pounce, looking to take that lead back and continue fighting his teammate. A little contact into turn number 1. Just a little fender bender. Looking to the inside. More contact between the two. But JWoww's going to do everything he can to pinch that door. But Clashin clears him and takes the lead back. Some great battling here for the lead as the laps wind down. Every position matters. No matter where you are on the track, you want to put yourself in the best spot for those green flag pit stops. And Clashin knows his best chance is to take that lead back and do everything he can to stay where he is. But he knows that 95 is his biggest challenge so far in this race. He has to do everything he can to pull away and put as much of a gap he can. Because if that 95 stays close and those pit stops come around, the 51 could be in trouble. Looking a little further back, Chase Williamson fighting for what seems to be about the 5th to 6th place position right here. He definitely has a long run car, and right now he's probably telling himself, do not lose as much track position as the last few times because it's going to set him back. If he could stay in the 5th to 4th place range, he could be in a good spot for later on. Chase Williamson definitely seems to be the guy to look out for on that last pit stop. He's going to go the longest he can with those tires. So keep an eye on the 14. He very well could be the one to look out for with those green flag pit stops. Lots of single lane battling now. DK Brown looking to the inside of Chase Williamson. Chase on the outside, on the attack, holds on to the position. Sharp battling the 44 to the outside. Trying to use that highline and pull, maybe a crossover on the 44, but does he have enough of a room, of a run? No, he does not. Mike Bross stays and keeps that position. Mike Bross, once again, we talked about before, he's just showing that top 5 speed. He's showing you he's there. May not have that winning speed, but he's showing that he is there. He's doing the best he can to stay with these guys. Mike Bross, pro driver in the eNASCAR circuit on console for 2 years, showing that he knows what he can do. He knows how to do it and stay with these guys. He's just been missing that little bit of extra speed to contend for these wins consistently every single week. But maybe he can pull a strategy move that could work for him and maybe take a win here. 50 laps to go here at Phoenix. We hope you guys have been enjoying the show. It's been a great race so far with lots of great battles, great strategy, lots of great things to talk about as well. As Clashin holding on to the lead with his teammate JWoww about 2 to 3 car lengths back. And we also have DB in third, who's shown that he definitely has some speed on the long run. Now that DB kind of knows what strategy to go with, could we see the 95 pit later rather than sooner? He definitely has a car that I think can compete with Clashin and JWoww, but we have to see what the strategies are going to play out. Can his tires even hold out that long? That is the burning question that we must ask ourselves with the laps winding down. We could very well see 2 pit stops in this race as well, depending on how these setups are built with the tires and the longevity of them. As you watch the 95 with JWoww, starting to slowly reel in the 51 here on the long run. Can JWoww take the lead away from Clashin? Apologies for that technical issue. The 51 is leading this race for now, but JWoww is definitely on the attack. Looks as though maybe JWoww may just have a little bit better car on the long run. Clashin using all he can on that bottom. Definitely focusing on entry attack while JWoww is focusing on exit of the corners. This is where JWoww is very strong. Turns 1 and 2. He's able to just get back on that throttle, either maintain or close the gap on any car on the exit, which is definitely a great advantage point heading into turns 3 and 4 to pass somebody. If you can get the best run out of anybody in turns 1 and 2 on that exit, you're setting yourself up for an amazing passing opportunity going into turns 3 and 4. But watch him here, going a little above that racing groove, then back on the gas, arcing the corner, and look at that run he's getting, guys. Look at that run. Closed about maybe half a car length on the 51 right there. Definitely JWoww, he's definitely holding on to his stuff. He's not overrunning it. He's just staying in the 51's draft, running his lane, putting the pressure on him. And here comes that Jaws music. JWoww, closer and closer every single lap. It may be only a matter of time till we see a lead change. There's DB in the 95, staying right with first and second place, and DB actually may be making some noise here very soon. Okay, huge lag spike right there. Thought for a second we were about to see something absolutely crazy. There's kill like Jason, someone again who's looked as though he may have had a good race at the start, starting up in P number 4, but has dropped back. Not a good run today for the 43, along with Perky, Brennator, and Idletown. But again, never know what could happen. These guys could turn around here. We could get a manual caution. It could change everything and the whole complexity of this race. But here's Chase Williamson and Flash 9. Two drivers that tend to be very good on the long run. They're sitting in 5th and 6th position. They're about, I would say, maybe about 2 seconds back of the leader, maybe 2.5 seconds back. In the next 5 or 10 laps, this is when you're going to see Chase Williamson and Flash 9 attack and see how their long run cars are going to handle. This is when you're going to start seeing them slowly moving up to the field and getting ready for pit stops. So keep an eye on the 14 and the 5 here. This is where these two are going to start pouncing and start making some moves here soon. Sharp in the 24 with a great strategy call in stage 2 to get himself a top 5 finish in stage number 2. Right now sitting behind Flash 9 and Chase Williamson. If I'm that 25 car or anybody that finished in that top 5, I am taking whatever I did in stage 2 and I am putting it in my back pocket for later on in this race. If it worked the first time, it could work the second time. Keep an eye on some of these guys here when it comes to pit stops, which should be happening here fairly soon. 38 laps to go here at Phoenix. JCR boys are still sitting 1 and 2. Clashin arguably has been the dominating car all race long, but his teammate JWoww has been able to make some noise here at the end of the runs or through pit stop cycles. If you're the 51, how do you change that? How do you approach that when you know your teammate seems to have a little bit better car than you on the long run? And it looks as though, unfortunately, I got lagged out there, guys, unfortunately, but I will get that fixed here in just a moment. It's as though we lost connection there for a second. Give me just one moment here, and we will get that fixed up. Currently right now, JCR Clashin is still leading, with JWoww in second, DB in third, Mike Bross in fourth. Those four have not changed at all. Some good battles happening, though, in the back of the field. 35 laps to go. Now, here's a great thing to show you guys the off pace so far in this race. So the best lap that JWoww has ran in this race is a 25.5. Currently, he's running a 26.4. That's how much of a fall off there has been so far. And guys, we are back. We are back here in the lobby. Apologize for losing connection there. Sometimes it happens with the spectator mode. It happened to Shady a week or two ago. It happened to us, but we're right back at it. Apologize for that brief delay. But we're back here giving you the racing action you guys came here to see. Thank you so much for all the support throughout the season so far. Cannot wait to see how this championship battle is going to all play out here as the laps and weeks are winding down, actually. Now, it looks as though that DB is starting to lose the top 2, but JWoww seems to be the only guy that is staying right there with Clash in here. So it's just going to be really interesting to see how these pit stops are going to play out. Chase Williamson has now moved up to 4th. We talked about him on the long run. He built that car for the long run. There's no doubt about that. He's sitting in 4th. Definitely looks to be catching the 95 of DB for P number 3. But does he have enough to catch the top 2 before pit stop cycle out? Great battle here for position between Sharp and the 5. Little loose though. Sharp barely touches the wall. Galaxy King thinks better of it and just stays behind the 2. Lets them all balance it out. Mike Bross starting to fall back a little bit in P number 5. With Flash 9 possibly attacking him here soon. 31 laps to go here, coming to 30, as pit stops should be right around the corner. Now, there is a chance these guys could make it on one stop, but it all depends on the setups. Can your tires and your fuel last that long? Can you make it to where you only have to pit one time? I am getting word that the tire indicator is starting to pop up on some of these drivers' tires. That means their right rear, right tires in general, are starting to lose a lot of its wear. If they do not pit here soon and the tires burn out, they very well could pop a tire and spin out, and that would cause a manual caution. But we definitely don't want to see that. These drivers don't want to see that. They want to see this race play out the right way. Now, I know for everyone watching back at home, you want to see a manual caution, but honestly to me, I want to see how these strategies work out. I want to see how the tires are going to play a factor here. 29 laps to go. The drivers have about 9 to 10 laps of fuel left in the tank, but can their tires hold out that long? Depending on how they pit and where they come in and the amount of laps left, You got to watch out for the driver who's pits or stays out the longest. It happened with JWoww. JWoww passed Clashin with about 5-6 laps left in the stage and went on to win the stage. A driver we got to watch out for is someone like Chase Williamson. Here comes Clashin. Down to pit along with DB. Is there any more takers? Looks as though no, we have 2 takers coming down pit road. Clashin in the 95. Now this is big, guys. This is huge. If Clashin pits and everybody else like Chase Williamson, Mike Bross, JWoww, if they don't pit for another 4 to 5 laps, Clashin's going to be in trouble, because with those fresher tires, he's not going to be able to hold off these guys, especially with this many laps to go. So this is a huge change for the race here, depending on how long these guys stay out. The driver we need to watch out for is Chase Williamson. He went the longest without pitting in stage number 2. Though he did not win stage number 2, he was on the bumper of Clashin for P2 after being so far back. Now that he's a little bit closer up to the front from stage 2 to now stage 3, this is the driver that we might have to watch out for. Oh, and looks as though a manual caution. We have a manual caution. Wow. A manual caution is out here at Phoenix. I cannot believe this. Wow. Well, guys, I was not expecting this whatsoever, but a manual caution is out. JWoww, your leader. Now, the big question, how does this affect the pit stops? Was Clashin a lap down? There's Clashin getting his lap back. But if this is following NASCAR rules, Clashin does not take the lead. He will be at the back of the field. And that is a lot of trouble for the 51. JWoww, your leader. Here come all of the leaders down pit road. We are not sure what the caution was for, but Sharp has some damage on that 25 car. I don't see Mike Bross. Unfortunately, we're not able to catch that accident for you. Mike Bross does have some damage on the right front. Feel like Jason has a little damage. It looks as though it may have been an accident between the 44, the 25. Hopefully we can hear about that soon. But here come the pit stops. Let's see how these two shake out. This very well could be for the win. Chase Williamson, though, has a long-run car. He's very tight at the beginning of the run. So if you're Chase Williamson, you are cranking that wedge down 6-7 clicks to make sure your car can stay with the quick pace speed that Clashin and JWoww have. Who's going to come out of pit road first? Here comes JWoww. Chase Williamson out of pit road, and JWoww is going to win the battle off of pit road with Galaxy King in third. Now let's see how this all shakes out here, because was Clashin a lap down when the caution came out? If that's the case and he was the lucky dog, he should not be the leader. Again, that's just from what I'm seeing. I don't know what's playing on in the race, but if that is the case and Clashin was a lap down when the caution came out, he should not be the leader. But if he was in front of the leader when the caution came out, he is your race leader. I'm seeing Chase Williamson maybe passing the 95 and maybe the 51. And it looks as though that's what they are debating right now. And yes, confirmed. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Now this is big, guys. This is big. Because if Clashin is the leader, which I'm not sure, because I don't have a ticker or a live ticker. I can't tell who's the leader. I saw Clashin getting his lap back under the caution. So personally, in my mind, I think Clashin is not the leader. But it looks as though they are confirming that Clashin is the leader. Clashin looks as though he may be taking the top. Looks as though we're still trying to figure this all out. And again, and we appreciate the league admins and everyone trying to figure this out, because this is big. This is huge. Because if they don't figure, they got to figure this out, because this is a huge benefactor to Clashin if he's the leader. But this also is a big benefactor to guys like Chase Williamson and JWoww if they're out front. So I'm curious to see how this is all going to play out. No changes so far. So it looks as though confirming that Clashin is your leader. This could be a big debate after the race. But Clashin is your leader, DB in second, JWoww in third, Galaxy King in fourth, with Chase Williamson in fifth, and Sharp in the 25 and sixth. Then you got Mike Bross in seventh, Flash 9 in eighth, DK Brown in ninth, and Killer Like Jason rounding out your top 10. With only a matter of laps left, looks as though we're going to have about 20 to 21 laps to go as the field looks to take the green flag here. It's only going to pick up. Who do you think is going to win at Phoenix? And the green flag is back out. A huge shove from JWoww to the back bumper of the 51. Oh, huge crash. Killer Like Jason head on into the wall. Heavy crash for the 43 as he went just across the field, head on into the outside safer barrier. My goodness. Oh, but Clash gets tight, crashing into the wall. Hard contact for the 51. Here comes Chase Williamson and JWoww. 3 wide for the lead as they head into turn number 1. Clashin with damage. Can he still hold on? Here comes Chase Williamson onto the inside. Clashin clears them both, but can he hold on? Now on the defensive side, Chase Williamson looking to be on the attack. Clashin playing defense. JWoww and Chase Williamson know very well here with Clashin possibly having some damage from hitting that wall. They could possibly win this race. They're fighting for possibly the lead if they get past the 51. Mike Bross in fourth with DB in fifth. JWoww has tended to show he may have a better car in the long run. He might be in the best position, but Chase Williamson will not let him go without a fight. $18 laps to go. Clashin with a scare as he hit the wall coming to the finish line. But right now it's looking as though it may not be affecting his car as much as it looked like on our screens. But we'll have to see what happens. JWoww with a heavy entry right there. He closes the gap tremendously. Arguably the best 3 cars all race long. Right there, neck and neck from first and third. Mike Bross in fourth with DB and fifth. They're still in contention here. Anything can possibly happen. Here comes JWoww looking to the inside of the 51, but the 51 has the outside, trying to play some defense as they go way below the dog leg. Chase Williamson, what do you do if you're the 14? Do you wait for the 95 to attack? Do you pass the 95 when you have an opportunity? But here comes the 95 on the bottom. Oh, he's maybe not there. Some incredible racing here. It looks as though Clashin's car may be affected from that damage. It's starting to play a toll, especially with the tire wear. Can JWoww pass his teammate and take the win away? But what about Chase Williamson? Can Chase Williamson do something about it? Riding on board with the 14 as the laps are winding down. Here comes the 95 onto the inside, side by side for the lead as the laps are winding down. Lap traffic in the way, but Jason thinking better of it possibly. Clashin sends it in alongside his teammate, the 95, who gets the better run off the corner, side by side at a turn number 3 or 2, whatever one it is. Now contact between the teammates. Chase Williamson going with the 95. He looks to the inside. Side by side for the lead. Chase Williamson looking to take 2 JCR cars down in 1 lap. What a move by the 14 car. Now side by side for the lead with the 95. Neck and neck, door to door. This race is far from over. Still side by side as they head out of the final corner to the finish line. This is going to be an incredible battle. But look who's starting to come into the picture. Mike Bross in fourth, starting to slowly reel in the 51 car. 95 going way up to the top. He's trying to really arc this corner, maybe to get back to the inside of the 14. Chase Williamson takes the lead away. Chase Williamson with the lead. JWoww in second, Clashing in third, Mike Bross in fourth. It's still anyone's race, and the laps are winding down. 11 laps to go, 10 at the line. In a huge, shocking turn of events, with so much chaos going on, Clashing makes a mistake and hits the wall. It probably altered his car to the point where now Chase Williamson and JWoww, if they keep their cars clean, could be the favorites. Now Clashing, I think, hit the wall again. I think the 51 hit the wall again. Yep, looks as though he did. That car's starting to get very tight. Aero damage plays a huge role here at Phoenix. And JWoww and Chase Williamson are loving what they're seeing. We could have possibly a two-car finish here at Phoenix. Chase Williamson going below the yellow line, playing defense, trying to get as much as he can on the entry of the corner. Currently 9 laps to go. When they head back to the line, it will be 8 laps to go. JWoww and Chase Williamson fighting for the win, unless we get a manual caution. It looks as though these two will be battling for the win. Clashing playing so much defense back there against Mike Bross and Flash 9. How long will they be waiting for that 51 car? Now Mike Bross going to the top. Now back to the inside. Flash 9 being a little safe here. He doesn't want to hit the 44. Now they're 3 wide for third. And they're loose right there. Goodness, some great racing right here. Mike Bross now diving into the inside with some help from the 5 car. Mike Bross gonna dive it down here on the dogleg, trying to clear the 51 to move up into a podium finishing position. A solid run for the 44. Mike Bross is moving up that track. He's trying to take away that 51's lane. Oh my goodness gracious, the 51, so he was trying to get back to the inside, but it wasn't enough. Now Mike Bross slowly takes away P3. Now Flash 9 up to P4. As Clashing still dropping back. An unfortunate incident for the 51, who's been dominant all day long. And JWoww seems to be losing the 14. Currently 5 laps to go. When they hit the line, it will be 4 laps to go. We talked about the 14 being someone to look out for on the long run, but definitely didn't pan out that way. Some trouble for the 51 has altered the race. Goodness gracious, I'm using every little bit of my voice. Now 4 laps to go at Phoenix. This was not what I was expecting whatsoever to happen. It looks as though it was going to be between the 51 and the 95, and the 14 just slithered his way through there, took advantage of the teammates battling each other, and is looking like he is sailing away for possibly another win on his hunt for a championship. At the line, 3 laps to go for the 14 car. Does JWoww have anything as they're battling heavily for P number 3? Chase Williamson looks like though he is in control of this race. Through turns 3 and 4, 2 laps to go here at Phoenix. Can Chase Williamson hold off JWoww? Does he have enough tire in the tank? Will he run 2 clean laps here to take away another win? An incredible race from start to finish with various strategies, incredible lead changes, and some intense restarts there near the end. But out of everything that's gone on, Chase Williamson has taken the white flag here at Phoenix. 1 more to go for the 14 machine. Reminiscence of his friend Brandon Gritton winning the Season 1 championship for Stewart Haas Racing. He looks to take the 14 back to victory lane here at Phoenix. JWoww on the top, riding the wall. He messes up and wrecks. He tried it. Chase Williamson wins it here at Phoenix. Mike Bross finishing second with Flash 9 in third. JWoww tried to chastain the wall, and it didn't work out for the 95. Oh my goodness. You know what? I had a feeling that was going to happen. Someone was going to do it. JWoww might have just gotten driver of the race just for trying to pull a miraculous move like that. But at the end of the day, Chase Williamson wins it. Mike Bronson second with Flash 9 in third. Oh my goodness. What a race from start to finish as Chase Williamson makes a statement here today as he hunts for a championship here in the Pocono Raceway Cup Series. Congratulations to the 14 machine on an incredible race there at the end and taking the win. We will talk to them here momentarily. We'll be right back with interviews with the top three. And we are back here on the broadcast as we are getting ready to talk to our top three here after an insane yet kind of hilarious finish there in Phoenix. You know, I kind of told myself at the end that someone was going to chastain that wall, and gosh darn it, someone did it. It did not work out, but hey, for all the viewers watching back at home, that was something quite just really entertaining to watch right there. And just waiting to see, and it looks as though our winner is done celebrating. He has come into the broadcast booth here. Let's see if we can get a quick word with Chase Williamson, your winner here today. Chase Williamson, my man, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Chase, my man, quite a show there at the end. Looks as though you had a lot of fun battling JWoww and Clash in there. Tell me what happened those last few laps. You know, what were you telling yourself there as you know, we saw the 51. It looks as though he hit the wall on those last few laps. It definitely altered his car. You knew right there that was your time to go for the lead. What was going through your head there as you were trying to make that pass for the win?
It was really hard to pass like on the bottom or whatever, and my car was really tight or whatever. And I knew as soon as he hit the wall, I needed to pounce and pass him, because if not, it was gonna be hard to get around him, because earlier in the race I was trying to pass people. Like, they just kept holding me off on the outside, like kept pinching me off. I knew he was gonna do the same for the race win or whatever, and I just knew I had to get around him. And we ended up going 3 wide, and I backed off early to get my car set and turned so I get good forward drive center off. And I did that and passed him, and then JWoww, it was the same thing. He was pinching me down, trying to keep the lead like he should have, and I was just trying to get turn center off so I didn't kill my momentum. I kept scrubbing off speed, and then as I finally got clear, I knew I'd be all right, because I could actually run my marks or whatever, hit my marks, and when that happened, 14 come alive.
Yeah, I noticed that later in the race, your car was really, really good on the long run, and we made note of that before stage 3, and looks as though you definitely had the car ready to go for that short run near the end. But I gotta ask you, I know those laps were winding down for you. You had a good gap. Did you have any idea that JWoww was going to try to chastain that wall trying to catch you? I don't know if you saw it in your mirror. He tried it. It didn't work out, though.
Yeah, we had actually, like, me and him had practiced early. I think it was Monday, and like we were practicing, trying to see how many laps we go on our tires or whatever. And it was like the last lap or whatever, and like me and him both did it at the same time. And I actually looked at my speed the last lap, and I went from running like a 20, I think it was 26.2 or whatever, to I think I run like a 26.0 or 29.5, like just running the wall wide open or whatever. So I knew he was going to try it or whatever. I had already put in my mind before the race I was going to do it if I was 2-3 tenths behind somebody and couldn't. Instead of just going in there wide open and knocking them out the way, I was just going to do that.
I love it, man. Hey, I'm not surprised that guys like you are practicing that. You got to try to find any way you can to take the win. So Nonetheless, Chase, great win. What a statement today, hunting for a championship. Yeah, I know you've seen Clash and has been killing it lately with these wins, but definitely a great win nonetheless. A great statement as we head to the next playoff race. Congrats on your win, man. Well done.
Thank y'all. Just ready to get this homestead race going on. I got a really, really good car there. I know it's just waiting on wins.
Oh, I've raced you at Homestead, man. I know you're pretty good there. I'm eager to see what you got, my man.
Yes, sir. Take care.
Yes, man. You do the same. Not too far from first place, not a win, but definitely a good run for somebody that's been very consistent in the year. We're moving on to a good pal of mine, Mike Bross. My man, Mike, you saw all the action happening in front of you. I gotta be honest, did you have any idea that maybe, just maybe, you can take that win away if things just got a little bit more crazy? Oh, looks as though that maybe Mike Bross. Mike, you got a copy? He's in our Discord, but he's not talking right now. Mike Ross, my man, you got a copy? All right, we'll get back to him in just a second. Mike Ross looks like he's having some technical issues. But let's see if our third place finisher, Flash 9, is there. Flash 9, you got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
All right, my man. P3, you saw everything happening in front of you. Definitely looked like your car was not where you wanted it to be. We talked about it during the broadcast, how you just didn't look like you were as fast. Maybe you had that car built for the long run and everything. Tell us about your day and how you ended up in P3.
I mean, I spent most of the race right on the 14's bumper. I know he said he was tight at certain times, but I think, it was just traffic. Really, everyone was basically the same speed for the first half of the run at least, and it was super hard to get by people unless they just gave you the spot. So it wasn't really happening in my case. So I was just riding around. I didn't have to be desperate or anything. So I was just trying to get up to the front eventually, and ended up third. I don't know how, but I'll take it, and just ready for the championship race.
Yeah, rightfully so. And you've been great all season long and whatnot. And, I got to ask you, and we'll get back to Mike here in a second, but I got to ask you, you saw everything going on in the front. What was going through your mind when you saw the 51 hit the wall right there? Because I'm sure in your head you told yourself, oh, it's anyone's race now, because 51 looked like he was good on the short run and the middle part of the run, which we had at the end. But it looked as though that the top five, you guys were all under a blanket there for a couple laps. Did you think you had a chance to win the race there?
I never really had that feeling tonight. There's just too many cars in front of me, and I'm not gonna. There's no reason to move people out of the way tonight. So just trying to find an open lane and not run anyone over. It was trying to give everybody room was that the case for me tonight. But I know my car is good. It was a good test session. I have a big race at Phoenix coming up this weekend, so I'm pleased with how it went, and just looking forward to battling these guys for this title next week.
Absolutely. Well, Flash 9, great job on your P3 finish, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Congrats, Chase. Thanks, Joey, for doing the stream.
Happy to be here, man. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to our second place finisher, Mike Bross, good friend of mine. He and I tend to be the kings of the second place finishes in NASCAR history, if I like to say so myself. Mike, you got a copy?
You got me this time?
Oh, I got you this time, my man. Okay, P2, but it got intense right there, my man. Tell me what was going through your mind when you saw that 51 hit the wall, because it just looked like all of you guys, your eyes opened up like you guys were deers on the highway with a car coming in. It looked as though it was anybody's race. What was going through your mind right there? How's it feel to finish second? It looked to be a really, really competitive race there where every position mattered and on every restart. Tell us about your day and what it was like at the end of that race.
Yeah, I kind of took a different outlook on the race. I really didn't. I really wasn't racing for the win. I was racing the 95 at DB the whole race. We had to beat him on points. I think we were up 11 points headed into the race, so I had to at least beat him for the final spot of the playoffs. So he got me by a couple points in the first stage. I got him by a couple in the second, and I was kind of just racing him that final restart. I didn't want to see that caution because I had him right where I wanted, but we ended up not getting wrecked or anything, and I wasn't expecting a second either. To be honest, I thought I probably should have finished fourth in that race.
Yeah, and definitely you didn't have the pace to win, but you were up in the top 5 there. Getting a second place finish like this, you've been in this thing long enough. Having finishes like that against real, competitive drivers like this, what does that do for your confidence and moving into next week and whatnot?
Well, it's good. I think I led a couple laps too. Had some good pace up there. Anytime you can run, top 5 most of the race, it's a good it's a good race and not make any mistakes. And we have Homestead next week, so really good car there. Chase has got a good car. I mean, everybody's got a good car, so it's gonna be a really good race next week for sure for the title.
One of my favorite tracks on the circuit, nonetheless, from the driving perspective, but also from the broadcasting perspective. Gonna be a fun time. Mike, congrats on your second place finish. Always good to be talking to you, my man. And go get him next week, man. Show him what that pro league experience does.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Absolutely. Well, guys, that's your top 3 here from Phoenix. Quite a race from start to finish. One-man show in the broadcast booth, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it without Shady. I definitely did miss Shady in the booth today. It's always good to have that second commentator, so I hope you guys did not mind the one-person booth. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show nonetheless. But just an incredible race from start to finish. We saw some great stuff, great battles between so many incredible drivers. We saw the battle between Clash and JWoww and Chase Williamson at the end. We saw 3-wide racing. We had a manual caution that set up for a short run at the end. It was just incredible stuff from left and right. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the show and whatnot. But guys, if you are able to support me, please hit the join button. Become a member today of the YouTube channel. It helps me out tremendously. Even leaving a like and commenting or subscribing to the YouTube channel, it does help me out tremendously. There's no monetization on these streams, so everything you guys do is what's super supportive. But congratulations, Chase Williamson, on his win here at Phoenix. A tough break for the 51. Can he rebound at Homestead? Can Chase Williamson continue the momentum? Or can someone new come up to the plate and win at Homestead and put their name in the headlines? Thank you so much for watching the race. This is Joey Stone, broadcasting the Pocono Raceway Cup Series here at Phoenix. We hope you have an incredible night. Congratulations to Chase Williamson on his win at Phoenix. We'll see you guys next week.